Welcome to the Ultimate Wellness Group. Today we're going to have a discussion on the topic, the race of life. What do I mean by that? Each of us that are a living being once were not. You were a sperm and an egg that hadn't come together. When a man emits his sperm into a woman with the fluid that comes from a man's prostate gland, there are sometimes hundreds of millions of sperm. The sperm and the ejaculate deposit in the back of the vagina. And then a woman's cervix will dip down into the back of the vagina, and that sperm will be going up into the cervix through that canal. Hundreds of millions, as I said. Sometimes you can get a billion. But a lot of people think that only one sperm makes it to the egg, and that's not accurate. Sometimes thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands make it to the egg. But then there's a process by which the receptors on the sperm and the receptors on the egg have to come to some agreement prior to that sperm going through the outer core and then into the inside of the egg, which then starts the process of duplication, and you actually have conception. So you want a race, is the point that I'm getting to. Each one of you that are listening won that race. How did you know which direction to go? When you were emitted as a small sperm, no brain, no body, no thinking, how did you know there was a mission that you needed to accomplish? Mission impossible. And you accomplished it. So the fact that you were the winner, and the fact that you made it and you were born into this world, there's a blessing in that. There's something you accomplished in that before you were even aware. And then once you came on this planet, nobody had to tell you that your mother's breast was something that you needed to be interested in. Now, some of our mothers have bottle fed us, for whatever reason. Maybe they didn't know any better. But at the end of the day, the breast was the best thing. But even if your mother breastfed you, you still had an attraction to your mother's breast as a child. How did you know there was something in there for you? How did you know to crawl when you wanted to get from one place to another? Because children start trying to do that pretty early. Nobody taught you that. Nobody taught you to grab something and start standing up after a couple of months. How did you know? You started wanting to walk. Now, sometimes as parents, we start getting interested in trying to help you walk after we see you trying, but we didn't teach you how to be interested in a breast, didn't teach you how to crawl, and didn't teach you how to walk. We may be part of that process of walking, but you had that in you already. So I'm getting to today that in order to have good health, the optimal health, we have to get back to that same faith. The same faith you had as a sperm, the same faith you had as a baby before you could talk, the same faith you had as a 1, 2, or 3 day old child that would cry with the confidence that your mother was going to take care of your need. Your mother knew what a cry was when you were wet versus when you were hungry versus whether you just need to be held or whether you were tired and ready to go to sleep. Your mother knew that within a few days. But you also knew that by crying, something or someone was going to come to your answer. And that's why you cried. So I'm challenging every person that's listening to go within yourself and think about the things that I just brought up and make sure that you get some quiet time and you think about the reality that you can overcome what it is that you're dealing with, whether it be depression, whether it be anxiety, whether somebody gave you a medical diagnosis that you just don't believe you can overcome. You have to change your mind. It's going to start right here. Change your mind. If there's something different that you expect in your life, it has to start with a thought. You are a sperm. You knew which direction to go. And now that little sperm that met with that egg produced a brain, more capability than the sperm. But you won that race. And you can win whatever you're faced with today. Sometimes you may need help. Sometimes you may not. But ultimately, it has to come down to you. Maybe learning some things, maybe seeking some knowledge, maybe asking some questions. But then once you get that, you still have to go somewhere. And at some point, start thinking about how do you accomplish solving your own problems. It's tough. Life isn't always easy. But every time you struggle for something, it's worth it when you get to the conclusion, when you get to the solution. You feel great. We have these certain substances that we produce in the body that when we accomplish something, it gives us like a high. That's because accomplishment and overcoming difficulty has a beneficial psychological, spiritual, and hormonal reality in these bodies. You're made to overcome. You're made to accomplish. You are made to be successful. And you have to begin to grow in faith. I am not talking about religion. Faith, that same faith as a little child that you had that you could crawl and walk. Get the faith back that you can accomplish what it is that you look forward to. And since I am a physician and my videos are mostly about health, you have to have the faith that your body can recover, heal, sustain itself, and give you the type of life, pain-free, problem-free, that you look forward to and that maybe even you enjoyed as a child. So something to think about today. Thank you for tuning in to the Ultimate Wellness Group.